here to tell you about Steven's grip. As you can see here, I have one mallet in each hand. This is the two mallet method. Now, if you add a mallet to each hand, we not only expand the range that we can play, but we can also play multiple notes at the same time and produce beautiful chords. Now with two mallets, you wrap the fingers around, pointer finger, thumb. And the stroke is an up and down motion in the wrist. But with four mallets, it becomes a little bit more complicated. Let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look at the grip. First, place the shaft on the second joint of the ring finger. Wrapping that finger around, the first section of the pinky should cradle the stick. And the stick should be in front of the ring finger and behind the middle finger. Now this part is a little bit flexible. We want to have a short amount sticking out, but for beginners, it might be better to have a little bit more sticking out at the side of the hand. This will give you more strength and stability, but for more experienced players, a smaller amount will give you more flexibility in the mallet. A longer amount will also give you more strength, while a shorter amount will give you more fluidity. Now, the second mallet. This part is also a little flexible. You want to place the end of the mallet in your palm. Where exactly depends from player to player. I prefer right here. You want it to be in the middle kind of, but also kind of towards this chunky part where your thumb is. Next, tip it forward onto the third joint of your pointer finger. This is like a lever. As you can see here, the head has the weight pulling down, which pulls the end of the mallet up securely into the thumb. Next, the middle finger secures it at the base, and the thumb just gives it a little extra stability right over the pointer finger. There we have it. There are 4 different types of strokes outlined in Lee Howard Stevens' Guide to the Grip. The first is the single independent. The goal is to move only one mallet, keeping the other mallet completely still. The motion of the wrist is a turn around the stationary mallet as opposed to the up and down piston motion of a lone mallet. The non-moving mallet acts as the axis of rotation for the other mallet. This stroke can be used with either the inner or outer mallet as the axle of an imaginary wheel, though many players often find moving the outer mallet smoothly around the inner mallet to be more difficult than the reverse. Next, the single alternating. This stroke is a moderate back and forth, good for moving passages of eighth notes. As the name suggests, it is played by alternating between single independent strokes on the inside and outside mallets. These can be played going in, out in, across both hands, and many other variations. Next, the double vertical. Here, both mallets must hit at the same time to produce a chord. First, it is important to make sure that when holding the mallets passively, that they are both on the same horizontal plane. This will ensure that when brought down, they will hit the bars of the instrument at the same time. Then, a small lifting preparation, a strong downward motion, and a quick bounce up of the wrists will produce an unmuted sound. The motion is very similar to regular single mallet playing in that the wrists are producing the same motion. The fingers, however, are much more involved in the Stevens grip to keep the mallets stable and steady. Finally, the double lateral. This technique is essentially a very accelerated single alternating stroke combined with a double vertical action, so fast that the two notes flow after each other like a flam or grace note. First, bring the inner mallet down, but only slightly. Next, lower the whole hand vertically, hitting the inner mallet against the bar. Then, the inner mallet raises away from the bar, and the outer mallet descends to the bar, after which the whole hand vertically raises up again. The 4 different motions of the stroke blur into a fluid twisting motion of the wrist. While there are various techniques for playing with 4 mallets, Stevens' grip does have some notable differences. Other grips are much more stable for beginning players, thus being easier to learn and use. In traditional grip, for example, the mallets cross over and support each other, giving added strength to the grip. But Stevens' grip allows much more fluidity of motion and wider intervals between mallets, for example, than traditional grip does. When mastered, the Stevens grip not only has considerable strength, but also a large range of motion and flexibility. mallet. The mallet should go in front of the ring finger and behind the middle finger. Wait, am I putting my arm out of frame?
Yeah.
Okay. Start over. Let's start with the grip. First, place the shaft at the second joint of the ring finger.